John Peter Ramirez writes, question, could we see a Bug's Life 2 in the future?
I don't think so. I think if Pixar was going to have any interest in doing that, and there wasn't really a lot of open-end stuff to go with a sequel anyway, but I think if Pixar was ever interested in doing Bug's Life, I think we would have seen it by now. They've got a whole bunch of other stuff on their plate that they're moving forward with, and I don't think... Look, don't even talk to me about Pixar sequels unless you're coming to me to talk about The Incredibles. That's all I want to hear about as far as Pixar and sequels. Unless the third word in that statement is Incredibles, I don't really care. So anyway, that's me. What do you guys think?
If we do see it, it'll be a long time. It'll be when they're like, we're run out of ideas.
Right.
Let's go back to this. Because, yeah, it's on the list of sequels that they need to make. It's very, very low.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but it's not something that people are clamoring for. Like, oh, we need a Bug's Life sequel.
Yeah, in terms of sequels that they need to make, I'm just going to say they don't need to make it. I mean, I have no interest in seeing that sequel. So if they want to, I guess it's something they can put out there, but it's not high on my personal priority list.
All right, what's next?
Brian writes, can you explain how contracts work when actors sign to a franchise? Any guaranteed money or just per picture? No movie, no money?
Generally speaking, and every contract will be unique and have its own unique aspects, so whatever I say right now, don't take it as a blanket for everybody. Generally speaking, whenever a studio is getting a film going that they have franchise hopes for, whether it's a superhero thing or whether it's a series of books they're doing it on or whatever, and they hope to turn it into a franchise. What they'll do is when they sign their cast, they'll make the cast sign a multiple film deal, whether it's 3, 4, or 5, whatever. Generally speaking, it'll probably be around 3. They'll make them sign a multi-film deal, so that way, if the first film's a big hit, they don't have to worry about going back to the negotiating table and give them a 10 times raise and whatever. They've got them under contract for the next. However, the way these contracts generally work is that they're not guaranteed for the actor. So let's say that I'm a Hollywood producer, and I decide to hire Dennis as the lead actor in my new comic book film, Race Car Man. That's my new franchise.
I just love all the made-up titles. Race Car Man.
So Race Car Man is my new hero, and I've got a plan for like 6 films for him. So I go to him and I say, okay, Dennis, you're going to be my leading man, but I'm going to sign you to a 3-film deal. So now, if we make Race Car Man, and it succeeds, and I want to do a sequel, Dennis is obligated to appear in the sequel, because I've got him under contract for that. I mean, and there are ways to get out of it, but generally speaking, he's obligated to come back for the next 2 films. However, that obligation doesn't go 2 ways. Because if I make the first Race Car Man, and it doesn't do well, and I don't want to make a second one, or if I do make another Race Car Man, and I didn't like the job Dennis did, I am not obligated to use Dennis in the role. So Dennis is obligated to appear if I call on him to appear, but I am not obligated to make another film, and I am not obligated to use Dennis even if I do make another film. And so we've seen that play out a lot of times in a lot of stuff. So that's generally the way it works out. But like I said, every contract has its unique properties to it, but that's just generally how it works. You guys have any thoughts on that?
No, but I'm ready for Race Car Man. I'm ready.
With the glasses.
Just sign me up. Sign me up.
You are so castable as Race Car Man.
I love it.
I see it.
All right, what else do we got?
Superman writes, who is your favorite fictional character of all time?
Oh, favorite fictional character of all time? Probably Darth Vader. Vader's probably my favorite.
Hard to say, you know. Batman, Spider-Man.
Batman rank high up. Magneto for me.
Spider-Man's up there for me. Deadpool, obviously. Man, there are so many to draw from.
All right. What's next?
Arrow writes, question, do you think they will kill Godzilla or keep him or her alive to make a sequel? Love the show.
Sequel. Yeah, they're not making Godzilla with the thought of one and done. They're making Godzilla hoping it's a big hit and then they can make a huge string of Godzilla movies. What I hope they don't do is kill off Godzilla and then have some cop-out ending where Humanity's now celebrating that they killed the big monster, and then the camera cuts to a faraway, desolate island, and we see a giant egg start to shake at the end. I hope they don't do some kind of weird cop-out like that, but I don't think they're going to kill Godzilla. Aaron, do you think they're going to keep him alive?
I think they're going to keep him alive, or something's going to happen. Maybe he'll be mortally wounded.
No,
and
possibly.
we'll be left in jeopardy, and we won't know what's going to happen. But I would love to see a sequel. I'd love to see a threequel for this movie. So I hope that something mysterious happens that leaves a little bit of mystery.
Dennis?
Yeah, I don't think his defeat is going to be anything like permanent. So I think, I think some of the older ones they had him like kind of sent back to the sea. They like lured him back to the ocean. So I don't know.
Because that's gonna work.
They're gonna like beat him up so that like he somehow hibernates in the ocean, and they'll come back for the second one.
Somebody actually tweeted me last night when the poster first came out and said, John, do you think that what they're really setting up is a Godzilla-Voltron crossover? I'm like, well, this is officially the strangest tweet I've got all week.
Mind blown. Can I say when they actually announced the name of the Avengers sequel, I just heard it, I didn't see it in print, and I thought it was Voltron instead of Ultron. And I was like, I'm so excited!
Avengers Age of Voltron with the lions and everything. All right, what's next?
Shaq Fu writes, do you think Hollywood should remake a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie?
No.
And who should direct?
Yes!
No.
Yes!
No.
Yes! Yes!
No.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Yes!
No.
Hollywood, do it.
No, don't.
You're the only one
I'm
at
the
this
only one that
table
wants
that's
it.
fun.
Well, okay, let me go one step further. Not only do I not think they should, there's nobody in Hollywood who will ever do that. It's not gonna happen. I mean, somebody might take a handy cam and shoot something just for Erin Darling to sit in a theater all by herself and watch, but no, I don't think so. I'm gonna get lots of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fans now who are going to hate me, but it's the truth.
I think there's a big group of people, probably around my age, that grew up watching in the 90s, and we have that nostalgia thing, and we would all gladly support a Power Rangers movie. And I hope we do see a remake at some point in time, because those movies could really be done a lot better with the help of technology and things that we have available today.
But, I mean, Dennis, you can look up the numbers here on this, on Box Office Mojo, but I often talk about trajectory at the box office, you know, dictating kind of where studios may go. And I remember I talked about this once, but the first Power Rangers theatrical film made an okay amount of money, actually. It's not like it didn't bomb, it actually made some money. Then they did another theatrical Power Rangers movie, and if I could be mistaken, Dennis is looking up the numbers right now, but if I'm not mistaken, I think it made like 20% or 30% of what the first one made. So the trajectory wasn't just this for its box, the trajectory was this. And like nobody cared, nobody wanted to see it. And when studios sit back and look at those types of trajectories, they're just like, no, not interested. Dennis, were you able to find that?
I mean, under Box Office Mojo, only the first one comes up. Oh, it's Turbo.
Yeah, it was the second one.
Yeah, it's not called Mighty Morphin. It's called Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. Made $8 million.
Made $8 million.
9 million worldwide.
And what did the first one make?
Like 40, I think.
Yeah, so 40 to 8. So it made about 25% of what the original. That's not what they're looking for. All right, what's next?
Adam Hilovac writes, first off, congrats, John, hashtag Teen Canada.
Woo!
Would a Halloween remake benefit if made like Seven, a psych thriller?
Well, they just did a Halloween remake not long ago with a rock star dude.
Rob Zombie?
Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie did, and it was awful. It was so bad. So and you know what? Big sacrilege thing here. All my film friends all look at me really strange to say this. I don't even think the original Halloween was all that good. But it's true. I really didn't. I was a little bit late to the game watching Halloween. Like I remember, I watched it when I was really, really young, and like everybody else, because I watched it really young, I was like, oh, that was great. And then I didn't watch it again until like I think 5 or 6 years ago, and I watched the original again, thinking this is gonna be a great classic retro viewing tonight. I'm gonna watch Halloween again. I'm like, this doesn't hold up. And my friends like Jimmy O, from our friend from JoeBlow.com, I think he wants to smack me in the face. Whenever I say that, I think he literally has to restrain himself from smacking me in the face when I say that. Anyway, what do you guys think about approaching a Halloween again?
I'm not a huge horror fan, so I don't have the best expertise in it. However, I also thought the Halloween remake was terrible.
Right.
And I wouldn't want to see another one.
Aaron?
I just hate the fact that we're remaking and rebooting movies so quickly.
Remaking remakes.
Remaking remakes in a period of less than 10 years since the last one was released. Can we just get some other things going in here? We don't need to remake Halloween again.
Again. All right, let's take a couple more.
Okay, well, here's another remake question. Danny Flores writes, question AMC Movie Talk. Do you think that movies have what it takes to remake or reboot The Breakfast Club?
I actually think a Breakfast Club remake, if not a proper remake with the title The Breakfast Club, I do believe a Breakfast Club style film is definitely going to come at some point. The challenge about The Breakfast Club was, The Breakfast Club, the original, was made in an era when high school demographics were really defined, and there weren't 40 subgenres of each demographic. The high school experience today, even as I was going through high school, is very different than what it was when The Breakfast Club came out. I mean, so it would be a very difficult film to do now and have it look much like the original Breakfast Club, but I believe there's either going to be a remake or a director who says, my film was really inspired by Breakfast Club, one of the two. But it's such a great approach to a story that I think it has to be done at some point. What do you guys think?
I would love to see a remake of The Breakfast Club, and I love the original so much. I'm a big fan of that movie, and I think John Hughes did an incredible job. But these are all concepts that could translate very well to any point in time, to now or in the future, and I think if you cast it well and you focus on these amazing characters and what they're all going through in their personal lives, that story could easily fit into today's lifestyle format. I think it would be an incredible remake.
I really like the original as well, but they can do a remake. They will have to, like you say, kind of reformat it for today's culture and youth. Just like, you know, that short scene, not short scene, but like the whole thing of in 21 Jump Street when they go back to high school and they're like, what is going on?
Yeah, the roles have changed completely.
So it'd have to be something like that.
Right. All right, what's next?
Barry Allen writes, could the next James Bond be black? If yes, which actor would you pick?
We've addressed this before. Yes, the next James Bond can be black because being Caucasian, being white, is not an essential element to who James Bond is. It's just not. It's not like Black Panther, where, you know, kind of being black, it's kind of an important deal to the Black Panther. With James Bond, it's not. There's nothing about James Bond that makes him being white essential to any of his. You make James Bond black, nothing about the character of James Bond changes. Nothing. So you can absolutely make him black. But as I've said before about trying to pick who the next James Bond would be, white or black, we're 5, 6, 7 years away from another actor being James Bond. And it's impossible to say this because anybody I might pick right now may very well not be well suited for it later on. So I'm going to pass on that part of the question. Absolutely, James Bond could be black. No reason why not to. But as far as picking an actor for it, we're way too far away to kind of go out on that. Say, at least I feel that way. Dennis, what do you think?
If it was right now, it'd definitely be Idris Elba.
Sure, sure. Yeah, he's the default.
Yeah, he's smooth, he's suave. He totally fits the James Bond profile. And also, all you really need, you have to be English, you know?
Yeah, that's all you need to be.
A guy that's English that can play a believable ladies' man and action hero.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it doesn't have to be a white guy.
Yeah, I think with casting now, we're seeing it happen over and over again. The choices are becoming more and more interesting and creative, and I think that's a good thing. So I don't think that James Bond and white are, you know, things that have to go together.
Yeah. All right, let's take one more.
Okay, DeAndre writes, question, why hasn't there been a Pokemon live action movie made, especially with today's technology?
Because it would be stupid. This is just me crapping all over everybody's dreams day.
Guys, you know what? I would watch
I'm crapping over Power Rangers. I'm crapping over everything.
I'd watch it too. I'd watch that one.
And once again, you'd be pretty alone in a theater.
I think there's a lot of nerds that would watch that one too.
But once again, we're talking trajectory. If you pull up, there were several Pokemon films that went animated, granted, that went theatrical, and they had that same trajectory. With their box, so the interest isn't there. Like I said, we have this ghetto mentality of we believe those in our neighborhood, since we all think one way, we think the world thinks that way. And I remember, I mean, we see that a lot. So a lot of people think, oh, me and everybody I know loves Pokemon, has great nostalgia feelings about Pokemon. Therefore, everybody does. They don't. They just don't. So no, I don't think any studio will do it, nor should they, really. I mean, and really, if you're a Pokemon fan, why would you want them to do it? I mean, seriously, I've got several things that I'm a fan of that I wouldn't want a theatrical film of. It's best where it is. And I think if you're a real Pokemon fan, I don't think you want a live-action version brought to the big screen by Hollywood. That's just my feeling on it. What do you think?
I don't see one happening. It's like the whole Sailor Moon thing we were talking about, a week ago. It is one of those things where everyone thinks it's super huge, but if you go out on the street and start asking people about it, only a certain age group will know what you're talking about.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.